Folks, once again to our channel. We're posting this on the 12th of February 2017. We talk a lot about what to save in, but how do you even begin is one of the biggest questions you're asking me. So on the phone we have Charles Thorngood of Noble Gold on the air, and we talk about saving in hard assets because that seems to be what lasts. Gold, silver, cans of food that last for 25, 30 years. So Charles, who are you? How did you get into this, and why should I save in silver and gold?
Great questions. Glad to be here. And I am Charles Thorngood. I am the CEO of Noble Gold Investments. It's a very interesting story how I got involved in this. 25 years ago, I was actually in investment banking, stockbroker. I saw the writing on the wall. Wanted to do the right things for my customers, and we started talking about diversity, not just in stocks and bonds, but actual diversity, different asset classes. So I stumbled upon gold kind of haphazardly because I had a desire to help my clients.
Okay.
Well, that brought me down the rabbit hole.
Uh-oh.
Found out about it, realized, wait a minute, there's things going on here that just don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a decision to be made. I had an opportunity to join a very large firm that liked my business. I had my own little investment firm at the time. They offered me a nice position. Offered to absorb my company into theirs, and I had to say, that's all great, but you trade in the precious metals, and real estate was big at that time too. It made sense for people with real estate,
Right.
And they didn't do it. They said that's not something we deal with. We deal with stocks and bonds.
But what if
we make our money?
What if the stocks and bonds go? We have Seneca oil stock from 1900 worth $100. Nobody will cash it in because nobody knows what happened to Seneca oil.
Exactly right.
And then they sit in a file folder. We had, say, U.S. savings bonds that sat for, I think it was 30 years. We tried to trade them in at the bank. Oh my God, we had to have affidavits and well, they're old. Well, yeah, they are, but they're savings bonds. Yeah, but then we had some Russian rubles, and they were 4 years old, and the bank wouldn't turn them in because they were old rubles. Oh my God, I mean, they don't do that with silver and gold.
That's right. See, it kind of flies in the face of savings, because the idea of saving is to put it away and not touch it.
Right.
Well, if you do it for too long, then you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Now they don't take it anymore. That's why the metals work out so well. It always has value. Gold and silver have never been worthless. They've never gone bankrupt. Everyone knows what they are.
Correct.
It doesn't matter how long you have it. It's always worth something.
If our relatives had invested in $100 worth of silver 100 years ago, we would still have silver. Now we've got these worthless pieces of paper that sit in a notebook.
Absolutely.
And what if the computer systems crash? I mean, it's not like we haven't had some real problems with the computer systems.
Very, very true. And another thing, to really think about, what if the United States starts trying to cut back on those dollars? We've seen it around the world, taking the 50 ruble, the 100 ruble out of circulation.
Well, yeah, what if we lose the $100 bill?
Yeah, these are real scenarios where you could suddenly, be in a position where you don't actually have that money anymore because they've recalled it.
Well, one of the things I've noticed, and I've tracked this through history, an ounce of silver buys 50 pounds of rice. Now, if we go into a period where we have some large inflation, crop failures, whatever, an ounce of silver is going to buy 50 pounds of rice. That feeds a family of 2 for a month. So you have 12 1-ounce pieces of silver. You have food for a year for your family. It's been that way. We've tracked this in China, Russia, the United States, everywhere. 12 ounces of silver feeds a family of 2 for a year. Unbelievable.
And that's a really important point, because what's happened is you've protected your purchasing power. Not your dollar value, but your purchasing power. And that's ultimately what we care about money for, is the purchasing power of it.
So when
Gold and silver, they don't change. It just changes the amount of those worthless dollars you have to get it.
Correct.
But the purchasing power is always there.
Correct. I was stunned when I started doing the research on silver. And I thought, there isn't anybody on the planet who couldn't hide 12 1-ounce coins of silver and feed. And if you've got a family of 4, you buy 24 ounces of silver from you. Just 24 1-ounce coins. Now, if you really want to save, gold, silver, how's platinum? Is that going to become kind of a big metal too?
At some point, I don't think it's where people are at right now, because what everyone's worried about is currency. And your two best options as alternative currencies are gold and silver. Those are the metals people go to because it's been recognized for so many years, for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
Platinum and palladium, they are precious metals, but they're newer kids on the block, so they're not recognized around the world yet as an alternative currency.
Well, I grew up with platinum as the ultimate currency, but gold is worth more than platinum now, isn't it?
It is.
So here it is, right on your website. 1 ounce of Australian kangaroo, the Philharmonic, there it is. You just click, you buy 24 ounces of silver, your family of 4 is fed for a year. That's it. Oh my God, it costs next to nothing.
It's a very simple process. You give us a call, we can show you how to do it. And more importantly is when you get it, you feel the protection you have. That's one of the great things about this. And it's like you said with food. When you receive your food, you know you're protected. You feel it. You feel the safety of it. You feel the comfort of it. Gold and silver the same way. It's there in your hands. It makes perfect sense.
You know what my wife got for Christmas?
What was that?
She got a 25-ounce 999 silver bullet. It was funnier than heck. $450. We have enough food in that bullet to buy rice for an entire year for a family of 4 in that one little piece of silver. Isn't that incredible?
That's incredible.
And it was a joke. It was funny. We knew the guy. We knew the jeweler. My wife's known him for 40 years. And we walked in there and he had this bullet. And I'm retired Army. I says, how much? He says, $450 or something. I said, that's it. I buy nothing else. But you know what? I know our family is protected.
That's the amazing thing about it.
She carried that silver around the entire day and showed everybody. So now, gold IRAs. What's a gold IRA? This is a big, huge part of your company because an individual retirement account is, you could make an IRA out of benches, pianos, cars, rifles. In fact, there are rifle IRAs. You could make it out of gold and silver. But it's really hard to trade a rifle in for a bag of rice if food is short.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got 3 rifles already. But what about your gold IRAs and how do they work?
Here's the great thing about it. We're going to use the existing structure that's been established for the IRA. But all we're going to really do is change the vehicle that it's in. We're going to take you out of the stocks and the bonds that, at all-time highs right now.
Right.
You have a stock market that's never been higher. We're going to remove the risk from that all-time high. We're going to put you into precious metals, some gold and some silver, which are extremely well valued right now.
Right.
And we're going to offer protection on that 401k or that IRA that you have in something that has a great opportunity to increase in value. That increase in value obviously comes at a cost because that means the economy's gotten worse and the dollar's gotten worse. But the important thing is you're saving for your retirement in a vehicle that has safety. And when we see another circumstance, like if 2008 happens again and the Dow Jones loses 54% of its value, you're not going to suffer from that.
Well, now if I
Your
had...
metals are going to go the other way.
Let's
They're
say...
going to go up.
Let's say I had $100,000 in an IRA, which I don't because we have a nonprofit corporation. All profits go into that, and we help people with cancer. So, let's say I had $100,000, and it may happen in an IRA, and I had stocks and bonds, and I got somebody else managing it that I don't know. I have no idea what's going on in it. Let's say I got 50% stocks and 50% bonds. How much should I put into gold and silver? Personally, I do it all because I did mutual funds for 10 years. And I worked with only 2 companies, Pioneer and Templeton, because everybody else had hidden stuff written in their little brochures. And I hate hidden stuff. But
Absolutely.
oh my God, even American Capital got hidden stuff. And I went, you know what? I'm dealing with companies that are upfront, straightforward, and blunt to the point. I don't deal with this hidden stuff. But let's say I have this guy and he's managing my money and it went up 2% last year. Okay. What percentage do you think I should put in gold and in silver? Because we're talking two separate metals here.
Correct.
And
Correct.
silver, they've had
No,
shortages of.
Common sense dictates that you be diversified.
Right.
So when you're looking at that, most people look to put between 25 and 30% of their portfolio in precious metals.
So
some do more, some do less. Really, it depends on what your criteria is. How long do you have till retirement?
now there's no
How
tax.
much risk are you willing to take? These are all real questions we want to ask and see what makes the most sense based on that.
So we're just converting, say, and I'm going to pick on a stock, ABC stock. We're just converting ABC stock to gold, which isn't a tax consequence with the IRA. You're just converting from one ABC stock is one thing in an IRA. You can convert that ABC stock to gold. There's no tax consequences. They're both in an IRA, correct?
That is absolutely correct.
So we're not talking about, oh my God, I got to sell $100,000 and pay the IRS, 70, whatever it is, and then buy gold. No, we're talking about a gold IRA and a silver IRA account.
Correct.
So,
And they're going to be in the same account, but we can just hold both metals within that same metals portfolio.
so if I had $100,000 and say I had ABC bonds, preferred bonds, paying 1%, which is pretty common today. I had some treasury bonds paying 2%, T-bills, and I had some ABC stock. I could sell 15,000, put, say, some of it in gold and some of it in silver. I'm diversified. There's no tax consequences, and we move on with life.
Absolutely.
I
Simple as that.
I can't see a downturn to this because I have a lot of friends who have IRAs, and they're just not making that much this year. 60% of the trading is on the New York Stock Exchange is done by artificial intelligence. If you don't have a good AI program, you're not making money on the stock market.
Very true.
I have a friend who was on the board of directors of the New York Stock Exchange. And if I had $20,000 to invest, I would probably be making huge amounts of money. But there's a lot of people out there with cancer right now, so my focus is a little different. But why not? We watch the stock market go up and down and up and down and up and down, and we're 50s and we're having, oh my God, we watch what happens. We have little. And the stock exchange, the top 30 stocks, that's all that runs the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The rest of them could hit zero, but the stock exchange, the Dow goes up. It's not really a good indication of where the stocks are, is it?
It's really not. And you can see that in your own portfolio. The Dow is at an all-time high. Is your retirement account at an all-time high? Are these the best returns that you've ever gotten in the market? I'm willing to bet the answer is no.
That's a good point.
Because artificial trading, like you said, and that Dow doesn't relate to what you have in your vehicle, what you have in your retirement vehicle.
No.
So really, we've gotten used to looking at that number, and it's a great way for these big companies to say, see how...
Whoops. Charles, we got cut off. I'm so sorry.
No worries. No worries.
But that's okay, and I'll tell you why. It shows you how difficult it is to get this information out.
It is very true.
And in the meantime, while you were cut off, I was showing you the different avenues we love. $100 a month of silver. Let's say you decide to buy an American Silver Eagle, or better yet, I love the Philharmonics because they look pretty. So you buy 5 Philharmonics coins. In a year, you have 60 of them. You have 60 months of food. Unbelievable. Are you still there?
Have your money in something that's not going to lose value.
That's correct. And if the stock market goes up and down, and by the way, the 60% of the people who trade in AI are usually very, very wealthy, and the rest of us little people don't have that opportunity, which is why we're making 2 or 3%. And here's a live chat right there on your website if they have any questions. So, charts. Charles, we've been talking about saving. Now, silver has been in a shortage for how many years now? We know it's going to go up in value because it's been short for years. I mean, it's an industrial metal.
Absolutely.
So
it's an industrial metal in an era where everything's electronic. That's where that silver gets used. We're not going to see a diminish in the use of silver. In fact, the more we automate everything and the more electronic we make everything, the more silver we're going to use.
Do you think you think silver is going to displace the price of gold someday? Because gold we save, but silver we use for everything.
Absolutely. I think, that would be a long time coming, but I do think you'll see a much better return in silver over the midterm, long term, even the short term, because it is used for everything. But it has so much ground to make up to catch gold. And gold still is that reserve currency that, your central banks use around the world.
Right.
So that will always have some value. But for you and I, silver makes the most sense. It's the best bang for your buck.
Well, Jiminy, I mean, like I said, it's what, $15, $17, $20 an ounce. For $200, you've got enough silver to buy enough bags of rice to feed your family of 2 for a year. I mean, and you can hide them in a cookie jar. You can hollow out a book. I don't care where you hide them. Or you could just convert. If I had an IRA, and we may eventually, but the nonprofit's really set up to give the money away, not to keep it. So I don't know that I'll ever have a savings because somebody calls me and they've got cancer, and yeah, oh my God, my heart just goes out to them,
Right.
But anyway, I think if you had an IRA and you didn't have silver and gold as part of it, knowing how volatile the stock market is, we've got a real problem with that, especially if the dollar devalues tremendously.
Correct.
And that's what I'll...
And, with $20 trillion in debt, it's hard to believe that the dollar won't devalue at some point. There is no real plan in place to fix that situation. I mean, thank God that we have someone in office now who's beginning to start to make the changes we need to see, but changes take time. So metal should really be a part of your portfolio because we're going to see some rough times before it gets better. But that's what always happens. We've got someone who's starting to make the change, and that's the most important part. But we have to be prepared while we wait for the change to happen. Now,
is there a minimum if I want to buy 20 coins from you? Because so many of them have a minimum. Can I buy 20 coins from you?
The minimum, we can be flexible with the minimum. Obviously, we're paying for the shipping for everything, so it has to be above a certain point.
Okay.
And here's where the minimum gets a little tricky for you. Under a certain dollar amount, and it's $1,500 here in California, we'd have to charge sales tax.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So we like to say, let's keep it above that. Why pay 10% to the state of California for something that's none of their business?
Well, then if I were to start, if I were serious about it, because you have to be serious to get into metals. You have to say, you know what, I'm serious about protecting my family. Here's $1,500. Send me as many silver coins as you can.
Absolutely.
I know some of the other people have a minimum of 4,000 and 5,000, and I know most families can't afford that. So, any last words? I want to thank you. This has been incredible. I mean, we're looking. This is noblegoldinvestments.com. That's it. Noble Gold. You just type in Noble Gold.
And there we are.
And there you are. Gold's at 1,231. Silver's at 1,770. Where the price of silver and gold is, I've learned, really isn't important as if you have some in your house.
That's true. If you have none, it's irrelevant where the price is at right now. You have to have some.
That's correct. And 1,500 would probably be a good start for food, water, toilet paper, things like that to keep yourself going over a year's time. I would say $1,500 would get you the toilet paper and the food. Because let me tell you, you don't have toilet paper. I've managed companies in the military. No toilet paper, you're in trouble. But that's a joke.
Certainly in trouble.
But this would probably take care of your food and your necessities for probably about a year.
Absolutely.
Charles, I want to thank you for coming. Any parting words? I mean, this is incredible.
Hey, it's my pleasure. And I think the parting words really quite simple. You know, we're a company, I have a team here around me that we actually care about our customers. We want to do what's best for them. If you have questions, give us a call.
And your number is
Go to our website.
877-646-5347 or 877-646-5347. Now, just as a side note, I have one silver coin, and if I get sick, I put the toothpaste on the silver coin and I brush it until it gets black, and I brush my teeth and swallow it. One silver coin gives you enough colloidal silver for the rest of your life.
Very true. Very, very true.
So,
and if you call in, make sure you mention the show. Make sure you mention William. We want to know. We want to be able to talk to you about what you heard. And importantly, too, call us if you have questions.
yes, again,
We're here to help. That's important.
877-646-5347. Home delivery. Yeah, I've purchased some silver, and it just comes right to your home. You got to sign for it. So it doesn't get lost in the